All right. What's going on? Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally because the government does not care about you. They don't care about me. Okay. So, what do we have to do? We got to work together. We got to collaborate. We got to make sure that we do everything the right way. Okay. And help you get that legal status. All right. Um, so, welcome to Ask a Question down in the chat box. All right. Don't be shy. Today, every day, unfortunately, something has come up with immigration. There's always something new. I just saw something come down on my alert me on LinkedIn, at least, about customs. Customs officers are picking up people like cruise supervisors, cruise ship supervisors. It's getting ridiculous. And they don't have any legal reason to detain those people. It's very concerning. Hi, Tina. Good to see you. All right. So I'll be here live for about 15 minutes. All right. So please take advantage of the time if you're available to stay in here for a few minutes. All right. Let's see here. Welcome, welcome. All right. So here's a couple things to share with you. Some of you have already heard this before, but there's at least 4 scenarios where you should really consider hiring an attorney to guide you to get that legal status. Okay. Other than filing from the beginning. But some of you have filed on your own. Some of you have hired a different attorney, and somehow maybe the relations with that law firm are not good anymore. Maybe they're just MIA. They don't reply to you. And not saying like it's been only 24 hours, but let's say it's been a couple months. They haven't got back to you for some odd reason, and you actually called or emailed. Here's one of the scenarios. Request for evidence. If you get an RFE in the mail or your online account, you need to review it as soon as possible. So when our office reviews it, we review it or receive it, we review it the same day and schedule a meeting with our client as soon as possible, preferably within the first 5 days. Because, if you're wondering, because there's an 87-day deadline. Okay. So with that being said, you may think, oh, like plenty of time. That's kind of the problem. That's a wrong mindset. Even though you may have a deadline 87 days from now or whatever time period from now, you want to take action, do the due diligence to get it taken care of as soon as possible. Because, I think just most people in general, we just kind of take our time lollygagging. But with immigration, you've already paid a lot of money for this process. You've already waited a lot of time for this. Okay. You waited several months, several years. Second scenario, notice of intent deny, NOID. Okay. NOID is basically USCIS saying they're leaning towards denying you. But it does not mean actual denial. And it can be confusing because on the first paragraph or so in the first page, it makes it seem like they denied you, but it does not mean denial. Okay. And that deadline is 30 days. So you definitely, preferably, even have a lawyer to begin with, because then they'll be ready. They understand your case. All right. Now there's no predictive kind of measurement to know like, will USCIS give you RFE or NOID? That's difficult. I mean, we have a baseline, okay, for us. We use our proven checklist, so we know the scenarios most likely that are definitely going to trigger an NOID and even RFE, okay? But sometimes USCIS will still send something like that even when we think we've done everything correctly, okay? At the end of the day, all right? The third scenario, as you were thinking of which question to ask me here on a live show, which, by the way, you can do in the chat box down below, or you can join live. All right. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, let's see here. You can join live using the emailing us right there with that subject line. If you're on TikTok, Tickety Talk, you can do that right here, I believe. Okay. So don't be shy. Almost every day I talk with someone that schedule a strategy session with me. They say they've been watching for a while. So thank you so much for your trust to spend some time here. I'll be here for another 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 13 minutes here. All right, here's a third scenario. when you need to definitely talk to a lawyer, a law firm, immigration lawyer. Okay, third scenario is when your case is delayed, and there's nothing that trigger in your system or on your online account that say case delayed. No, they don't write that. What it could show is actively being reviewed. Because when you first see that, you might get excited, like, oh, this is amazing, actively being reviewed. And it's like the first 3 months of your case pending or since your case was filed. Yeah, a lot of cases, a lot of applications are actively being reviewed for several months. So it certainly does not mean that an officer is reviewing your case like once a week. If that was the case, then the government's very inefficient. Okay. I've actually been told by former USCIS leadership who has worked for USCIS for several decades. I asked some questions about processing, things like that, and he's mentioned that, yeah, review a petition might take an officer a couple hours max. I was like, if that's the case, why the hell do they have to wait so many months? And that's because they want to delay y'all. Okay, that's not right. All right, so if your just gut tells you something's off on your processing time, contact us. Okay, schedule a meeting, one of these pre-qualified session. All right. And then the fourth scenario is if they deny your application. Okay. Depending on the situation, you may need to file a motion to reconsider 290B form or refile the case. But again, it depends on the reasoning, or they might not give you a reason at all. Even more frustrating. Okay. So you can see here on YouTube and Facebook these options right here. Hey Tina, do they tell you what they need for you to turn in? If it's a RFE, request for evidence, they typically provide something specific. Maybe there's an issue with the birth certificate, marriage certificate. Maybe it's specific to financial sponsorship. But usually for an NOID, if it's after the interview, then it most likely it's inconsistent statement in response to the questions. Okay. Thank you so much for your questions. Let's see. Patricia, you said your 824 has been almost a year after receiving the receipt with no answer. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, we just filed one. You're not going to like this, Patricia. We just filed one a couple months ago and just got it approved. Now, I'm not saying that, oh, you have to hire a lawyer so that it's quicker processing time. You may not have done anything wrong with your application, but I'm not going to guarantee that your processing time is faster with an attorney. Like, no, that's not true. But if your case package, requires certain things, you want to do it our way, so it's more likely to get it processed sooner, then yeah, that's a benefit of hiring our team, at least at Green Card Guys. I can't speak about other law firms. It's with a lawyer, yeah. So I mean, sometimes the luck of the draw. Maybe it might depend on the service center, the location. Okay. But yeah, ours only took a couple months. So let's see. The recent one. Again, it doesn't mean automatic every single case. Angeline, hello there. Your I-130 filed in January, still nothing yet. Any updates? Well, Angeline, it kind of depends on who's your sponsor. I don't know the update for you, but if you mean like any update in general, it's still pretty standard. If a person, if the immigrant beneficiary is outside America, then it's definitely going to be 17 months, or even in America, but cannot file for adjustment of status. Maybe not eligible for it, but you can file a petition. That's still about 17 months. Hey, if you get it approved sooner, that's great. Online with USCIS, it shows 17 months, but that doesn't mean it's going to be 17 months for everyone. Okay. That's just, they say 80% of cases will take about 17 months. But that could also mean like some case, the other 20% could take longer. The other 20% could be less time. But if you're in America and eligible for adjustment of status, on average this year for our cases, where you can have the interview in America, okay, it's been average 3 months. Yeah, I shit you not. It's been 3 months. Some we've had scheduled within 1 month after filed. But that doesn't mean that this presidential administration is doing that to help y'all. They're doing this, if anything, to enforce immigration law sooner. Okay. So it's a trap for some people. Some of y'all have been, married for several years. Some of y'all been married for decades. But for y'all that had a very short courting period and got married, I don't know, like 1 month, 2 months after, or maybe even 6 months after, but you just haven't really taken the next action to like get a joint bank account, for example, that means you're going to have less evidence to provide. Okay. So we think outside the box for our clients and for y'all too. I just can't share everything, right? You got to join our team if you want that peace of mind. All right. So let me see here. Angeline, it's for your husband who's in Fiji. Man, I wonder what the weather's like Fiji. I just anticipate it's really hot over there. But then again, I'm in Houston, Texas. It's freaking hot over here. All right, I see some more questions. Again, if you want to join live, you can do that down below on Tickety Talk. And if you're on Facebook and YouTube, you can do that. You can email in for the link to join. We got Frecuencia Maritima on YouTube. You have adjustment status for marriage, U.S. citizen 30 days ago. You have a receipt number or receipt notice and an appointment for biometrics. What's your question? Okay, maybe you're just I have to guess. Sometimes I feel like I have to guess what y'all's question is. Are you just wondering if it's like on track for you? What? Your work permit and your U.S. account is 12 months now. Oh, you did biometrics yesterday. Okay, so you're referring to your online account, your MyUSCIS account. So if you have logged in, typed in your credentials to your MyUSCIS account, you might see something like, "Oh, this case is going to take another 2 weeks, 12 months." Yeah, it's a damn lie. I don't know why. I know it's reasonable to think it's correct, but it's a damn lie. All right? It's nothing, let's put it this way. It's nothing like the Domino's pizza tracker. If you have order from Domino's, God bless them. They have made their system, their tracking pizza tracker very simple and on time. But USCIS online account is nothing like that. Okay. I don't know. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Domino's, but if you have know someone in corporate, in advertising, marketing, let me know. I mention them all the time. I don't have a TikTok shop, but it would be good to get sponsored by Domino's. That would be really nice. Let's see here. So, and I share this with you because it could be frustrating when you're staring at your MyUSCIS account thinking, or maybe even happy. You're like, oh yeah, 2 weeks from now, maybe it's time to buy that plane ticket to Canada or something, or just to go to Banff National Park. I don't know. My friends want to go to Banff National Park for some reason. That does look nice. But anyway, you just have to be mindful. Don't make plans to travel abroad, especially if you don't have a 131 advanced parole. Okay. And you don't have residency yet. Okay. It ain't over until you're approved on paper and you have the card in your possession. Okay. Okay. It's like, I don't know, football. Like you cross the end zone, but you've seen those plays where the football player drops the football at the time of crossing the line. It's kind of the same thing. You get the approval letter, but you want the resident card in your hands. Okay. Let's see. By the way, if you don't mind, I know it's a lot easier, especially on Tickety Talk. If you can share my live show, add it to your story, I greatly appreciate it. Doesn't cost you anything. All I ask is you tap the screen a couple times until your finger gets tired, and then share the live show to your story. Even if the next best thing, if you can't add it to a short story, which is easy, is just click the share button with the arrow and then click on copy link. I mean, can I do that for myself? Yeah, I think I can. Well, anyway, apparently that counts. Yeah, see, you can see I just shared it myself. How crazy is that? That's all you do. And you don't have to give me gifts, okay? I appreciate it though, but you don't have to do that because I don't know how to cash out the money anyway. All right, so let's go. Let's go answer your questions here. Thank you, Mimi. Appreciate that. Thank you for the follow, Mountain MT Coffee Girl. Pima, do we accept SIJ cases? Yes, we do. Special immigrant visa. Audrey 56. Your question is, will a DUI before green card affect that you obtained before residency affect citizenship application? Well, you said 2009 right there. So it's outside the 5-year period. So that's the first thing we review. And so that's good. The next thing we review is, also what kind of crime it is. So DUI, that's fine. You can still apply for citizenship. I can share that. Now, there are some crimes, there are some type of arrests that we do need to fully evaluate one-on-one. All right. We have had some inquiries, by the way. Some if people have a criminal defense attorney, like the case is active, still active, and they're wondering, to protect their law license too, they have to ask if you're an immigrant. Okay, even if you have residency, they're supposed to ask because unfortunately there are immigration consequences of certain plea deals, of certain charges. Okay. So anyway, we write a memo to review the crime and provide our suggestion when it's still an active case. All right, let's see here. Thank you so much. I think someone asked, how do you get a consultation? Well, thank you for asking, Romana. I think you might see here. There's a couple different options. Well, I'm pointing for TikTok purposes right now. Pre-qualified meeting, that is with a non-attorney, a client care specialist. So we only charge this amount for any of these platforms that y'all are on, this amount, because you're spending time hanging out with me and tapping the screen until your finger gets tired. And then sharing the live show. Click the copy the link. What else? Because normally it is 3 digits. And then this one right here, number 2 over here, is super confusing when I'm on multiple platforms. The second box, basically, attorneys, strategy session, that is 3 digits because attorneys have limited time and I'm here on a live show answering questions. Tina asks, do you have to do the pre-qualify first and then the paid? Oh, great question. No, you don't have to. You could pick either one. This one, pre-qualify, really, because most people's scenarios, well, in general, I train my team, regardless which kind of role, client care specialist, attorney, I train them literally every day. They're probably tired of hearing from me. Bless their hearts. I appreciate them so much. That's how we got 4.9 stars. Would prefer 5, but that's okay. Can't make everyone happy. Clarissa says, yeah, tap the screen until I fall asleep during your live. Fortunately, I have not fallen asleep during the day, only at nighttime. So what else? So yeah, you don't have to schedule a pre-qualify and a attorney strategy session. You can do one or the other or both, up to you. All right. Let's see. I'm also here on the live show, not just answer questions, but obviously that's important. All right. I want to do my best to do that. But share insights, which could be answering a question too. Share some problems, share some success stories of ours. Okay. But also debunk some myth. Maybe share some horror stories that we've heard of our own clients, or maybe people schedule a meeting with us and we feel compelled to share with you. Of course, we don't share their names or anything, but look, if I could list out every single goddamn immigration problem on a list, it would probably take me weeks because every problem has a nuance and certain situation. Sometimes even like a clerical error can affect some cases, not all cases. Okay. So anyway, let's see. Audrey, or remade for you. Romana's other question. You filed back in 2023, concurrent filing and no activity on your I-130 or 485. Sorry to hear that. I mean, that's frustrating. It would be great if USCIS could just say, we have not reviewed your case yet, or it's just hanging out there for like since whatever date, right? That would be nice, but they don't do that. I think Domino's would do something like that if whoever they paid to do the tracker. That would be great. Let's see. I thought some people wanted to join live. If you want to join live, you're welcome to do that. Frequencia, yes. What do I think about your situation? I already shared that. Really, you just filed 30 days ago. I think so. Yeah, you have a receipt, so there's not much else unless to comment on, unless you have a specific question. Sandy's question: spouse. You have a spouse case at embassy stage. Appointment next month, September. You just discovered lawyer did not include divorce decree to NVC. Thoughts? Yeah, if you have the interview rescheduled, it likely does not let you upload anything. That's fine. Just, I mean, at this point, bring it to the interview, whoever's the one having the interview. And it's when it's at the embassy, we call consular processing. It's really only the immigrant spouse that's going to be at the interview. Okay. And not the US citizen or resident sponsor. In fact, we've had a couple clients go to the embassy or consulate and they don't like, there's no room, first of all. And usually those interviews are fairly quick, sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And you might think, God damn, you waited all those months or all those years for a 5 minute, 10-minute interview. Like you would think it's a little longer. And it's probably fine, right? Normally that if the interview is whatever amount of time, but then you get an email or you check your online status and it says admin processing or 221G, or you get an email that says, hey, fill out this form DS 5535, or they let you know, or they give you a blue paper or pink paper. And you're like, what the hell? They're asking for documents that you already provided them. Or they're asking for, oh, well, this is ridiculous. TikTok tells me, TikTok just popped up something right here. I might need your help here. It says, my live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because it primarily directs people off the platform. This is in line with the For You feed eligibility standards. So I'm going to click on appeal. Bastards. I'll put TikTok should allow content like mine. So I've noticed, by the way, if you're wondering about Tickety Talk, they have suppressed information, which is kind of interesting, right? So it's very unfortunate. If you truly wonder, like you're not like, what do you call it? Like you record videos for other people, you just join other people's lives, and you're wondering, does TikTok really, or any other social media, does it really suppress information, videos? Oh hell yeah, it does. I'm sure it's not just this one right here. Type in LA Music Festival, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Clarissa knows what I'm talking about. It's crazy. Because whatever you see on the video that's related to LA Music Festival, I will bet you 50 cents. Okay, oh, let's put it 50. Yeah. But if I lose, then you donate to Clarissa's People First Project. Okay, that you have not seen those videos before. Okay, and that you have not seen it in the mainstream media. Okay. You're welcome, Sandy. Yeah, I mean, Sandy, yeah, that's frustrating for sure, that your attorney did not upload it already. I mean, we have a checklist, like almost every status or stage of the journey internally for us, we have a checklist. It's almost like when you, I don't know, you're about to buy a house or something, you're going through remodeling your home or whatnot, or your workplace, and you have what is it, construction? You got like a punch list. Yeah, that's what we have. We have a lot of different checklists for different things. Let's see. Okay, next question. It's 1 o'clock, 1:07 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Trying to keep track of schedule here. See, even on this one right here, the one tapping, it says some comments are filtered. And I can't even, some I can see and some I cannot. Okay, Mulhay, you had a Stokes interview on August 7th. It went well, but no decision. How long will be the wait for approval? I mean, there's no specific timing. It's more about that it could be. I mean, some of our cases get approved in 24 to 48 hours, and then there's like another category of case might take a week. We've had a couple that has taken. I know we had one like 3 months. It doesn't happen for everyone, but a majority of our cases for adjustment of status, we get a decision in 30 days or less. Okay. But yeah, Stokes interview, usually takes longer. Oh, my appeal was approved. Okay, what was that? 3 minutes? Not bad. Anyway, it seems like once a week they do that nonsense. Okay, Baddie's question. You're ready to send on YouTube. Ready to send your divorce decree. Do I think the defendant of the divorce they don't have to sign? I mean, so this channel's immigration related, but in my experience of divorce cases many years ago, the defendant doesn't generally does need to sign, especially if it's been contested. But if your ex spouse signed a waiver of service, then typically does not need to sign. But again, I don't even know which state you're in the law in your state. Okay, let's see. Someone asked, I can see it, but it's hidden. Comment Silvestri. If someone does self deportation, what happens with all the debts? I have no idea. I'm not a financial guru like those other folks on YouTube, whatnot, or social media. I mean, it would be nice to be a financial guru, so I just know what to do. But yeah, that's not really lawyer related until it hits like bankruptcy type situation, I suppose. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, I figured I've had that feeling. Clarissa, I'm controversial, yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for the next question. By the way, if you just joined, welcome. I might be here for another couple minutes. Let's see. If you don't mind, you don't have to send me any gifts, TikTok gifts, whatnot. But what you can do for free is tap the screen until your finger gets tired, and then click on the share button, and then click on the link because you don't even have to share it to a specific person, apparently. Oh, okay, Clarissa. I see you approved it. The comment. Okay, good deal. Someone asked. I get a little thrown off on some of these questions because it could be duplicated. Uh, Nancy asked, "Is it true if you have an application I-130 and 45 that you can be placed in deportation proceedings?" If that were to happen, okay, it could be that someone was not eligible for 485, like should not have filed it in the first place. I actually know someone that did that, and then they hired us after the fact. Fortunately, they were not referred to immigration court, okay, but their 485 was denied because that person entered without a visa. The general rule is that you have to enter with a visa or parole if you can to be eligible for adjustment of status. There are some limited scenarios where you can file without having entered with visa or parole, but that's a few people. That's usually not that many. But otherwise, I mean, the memo that came out August 1st, 2025, so just a couple of weeks ago, they're they are focusing I mean, I don't even know if you want to call it focus. It just seems like they added another scenario, another category of scenario situations that USCIS will refer people to immigration court or maybe just directly with ICE. Okay, so they had like 4 or 5 bullet points, but the main one that I was concerned about that I recorded a video a couple of days ago is for people who only filed a petition and the beneficiary is in the United States, meaning most likely only filed petition because not eligible for AOS and also needs to file a waiver. Okay, so that's something to be concerned about. So if you're in that situation, maybe you already filed a petition already, maybe you file a waiver, and you don't have a lawyer, it's probably a good time to have a meeting with a law firm. Okay. Let's see. Remade for you. Did you have a question? I do see your comment about she has been fingerprinting everything October, but it will be a year. Okay. So October. So we're just a couple months out. Is that adjustment of status? I'm just going to assume that. So if that's the case, I mean, when it gets to 15 months and still no interview, then we will consider filing mandamus lawsuit. So, I mean, you could schedule a meeting now, or you can wait till, what was it, 3 months from October. So, yes, we do file lawsuits against the government to help you get your legal status sooner. No, that does not guarantee an approval because we did not file your application to begin with. We do a courtesy check on that. Let's see. Remade for you. Is it normal for military PIP to take so long? It seems that others have filed after us and are complete. You mean like the 131 to the field office, that application? I mean, it may depend on the field office. Maybe they have different, I'm sure they have different internal process at the local office. I actually don't like that process. I'm glad there's that opportunity through military PIP, but I don't like that people like our clients, we have to file it to the local office. It needs to just go with the regular process like the other applications. Um, they need to change that for sure because of that I think that's why it slows down. It takes a long time. When did you file? You said was that you that you said you filed a year ago, 12 months ago, almost 12 months ago. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for your questions. If you're just joining, because it does seem my viewer count here just like doubled. Um, oh, I can. Then you probably don't know who I am. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure legal status to live and work in America legally. Because the conservatives think that you don't want to live here legally. Um, yeah, but the government doesn't care. Okay, so clearly, out of any president for immigration, I mean, what is that saying? FAFO. I mean, if you're on here and you voted for DJT, welcome. I'm happy to share information with y'all, so like all the problems. Someone joined one of our strategy sessions with the client, and he or she said that I need to go out there and share the information. I'm like, I thought I'm doing that already, but you know what? There are a lot more immigration problems that I probably have not shared because didn't I'm really just focused on answering your all's questions. And I asked that person, I was like, you know what, if you have social media, you can repost my videos or you can give your own take. Because more people certainly need to know it. Let's see. Lily, you gotta for your question, you said H-1B is ending. Your employer's not extending it. Can you switch over, port over to another company for your similar position? Or maybe it doesn't have to be similar, but at least maybe for like a promotion and- or a lateral move. Um, because F1, you're gonna unless are you going back for masters instead? So yeah, I mean it's better to schedule a meeting with us, okay? Um, Normally our meetings related to like H1B or anything employment are are a bit more than that. And we do usually require a default for the point of contact of the company. But in your situation, you could let them know that John mentioned that that it's okay this one time. Baby dolls question on YouTube. Can I talk about the major delay VAWA receipt notice? You notice most lawyers don't talk about much, and you went on Reddit. And you notice a lot of people in the same boat. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I talk about it every day. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I mean, I think most lawyers don't. Well, I guess you're probably referring to the lawyers on the YouTube or whatnot, social media. But because we sue the government quite often in general, we pay attention to things like that. I mean, I wouldn't sue them because you didn't get a receipt notice, but we do pay attention to certain government processes and workflows. And yeah, VAWA traditionally has been slow. It like does not matter who the president is, blue or red, purple. Which should we have a purple president? That'd be interesting. Um, that would probably tick off the Republicans and the Democrats. Anyway, so yeah, that's been a problem for a long time. It just seems like it's gotten worse lately. So there is an email that we use to contact USCIS, say what the hell's going on, and we give them the tracking number, the mail tracking number. Um, but yeah, that's why at least at the very beginning you have to mail your package with a tracking number, UPS, FedEx, USPS, whatever it is. Okay. All right. Thanks for the donuts. Let's see. So yeah, that's what I recommend to do. Okay, baby doll. If you have an attorney, then ask the attorney if they can email the hotline email for that because if you submit an inquiry online, any kind of inquiry online, you need to have a receipt number. So that's kind of a problem if you don't have the receipt number. Let's see here. You're welcome. You know what? I should probably record a video about that. Thanks. Let me write that down. Why is USCIS stupid? Oh, wait, no, just kidding. VAWA receipt. I meant to say DJT. Um, by the way, just a little conspiracy theory. I mean, do y'all do y'all think that like the Project 2025 is created by the Heritage Foundation? Okay, I guess some kind of like conservative think tank, apparently. I'm kind of thinking they took advantage of the fact that DJT ran for office again, despite the 30 plus felonies, um, and use that opportunity to fulfill their agenda. And obviously, someone like DJT does not care, like does not mind. And then obviously, there has been reports that um, what's the name? Oh, the other guy that puts the makeup on his eyes. I guess that's fine. I mean, I know musicians put. I guess he doesn't play music, but anyway, JD Vance. That's a JDV. That they he was their pick. So it's gonna be quite interesting what happens. I Who is this guy? Oh, that's good to know, baby doll, because it gets confusing on social media when people on the MAGA mech, they seem blind. They seem completely blind, unfortunately. Let's see here. Okay, some questions here. Okay, someone named Wrong. I don't know if. Yeah, I'm trying to speak in code with their names instead of their names. Wrong. Are you illegal or legal in America? Do you have citizenship? Are you asking me? I don't know. Do I? Like, unless like I don't know. You asked that question a couple times. Are you a troll? I think you're a troll. Corn for the. Let's give the corn to the troll. Let's see. I don't. I don't like to kick out anyone unless that person's disturbing to anyone, with the hopes that they actually learn something positive from the channel. But maybe that's asking for too much. Let's see. Anyone's question did I miss? If I missed your question, you're welcome to join live, unless I told you to schedule a meeting. Oh yeah, I think I did. I-360. Let me check about that one real quick. Do you need to file a original petition? I don't believe so. As long as you're married, to that U.S. citizen, and my condolences. First of all, I should have said that first. Let's check out this. Well, you're on TikTok. I wish I could share my screen. To file the I-360 petition, okay, number one, you had to have been married to the U.S. citizen at the time of passing, and that person was a citizen at the time of death. Number two, there's a 2-year deadline, okay? It's ridiculous. They shouldn't do this. 2 years might seem like enough time for MAGA because, they say you guys file application like they just know. But yeah, you have the U.S. citizen. You have 2 years from the date to file this petition I-360 from the date that the spouse passed away. Okay, 2 years or less. That's critical. Number three, that you had to been legally that you were not legally separated from your U.S. citizen spouse at the time of his or her death, and you have not remarried. That's a kicker there. Some people remarry like you. I don't know what happens. I mean, I'm not going to tell someone how to live, but maybe 2 years is just the right amount of time to move on. Hey, I mean, if I pass away before my spouse, I've told her, like, you do what you got to do, but to be happy, right? But like, why do they, like, they shouldn't have that extra rule. That's ridiculous. All right. Anyone got drama to talk about immigration? Nothing? All right. Sometimes we have some interesting stories. You're welcome, Roger. So, Roger, hopefully that works out for you to apply for this. Okay. But if you do have an I-130 filed already, which sounds like you don't, then we can convert that to the I-360. Okay. So hopefully that helps you out there. Hey, we're at 5,000 hearts on this Tickety Talk. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate the contribution because I know your fingers can get a little tired. I've done that before for others. Okay, Wrong is a troll. TikTok knows that he's a troll. But I think I'll share what this person said. It hit his comment. I didn't do it. Okay. Trump make American great again. Well, that'd be a confusing phrase. For an acronym. TMAGA. Tamaga. He says you should not be scared if you legal to USA. I really would not want to be a troll back, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But here's the thing. People who have entered America without a visa, without parole, still have the legal ability in some scenarios to obtain legal status. Okay. Let's just focus. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Picky Pride. Thank you so much. Let's talk about language around immigration, legal versus illegal, undocumented or deported. Absolutely. So I remember there was a Texas House of Representatives that filed something under Biden administration to at least for congressional purposes to refer to people undocumented um, as undocumented, I believe, without using the one that's ALIEN. Let's see. I think his name was Castro, last name. Joaquin Castro. Actually, I wonder, is he? Anyway, let me try to stay on topic as best as possible here. Erica, you said that Erica said that you messaged me. Erica Steven. I can't see the message. If you're talking about DM, I can't see it while I'm on the live. Baron Noise on YouTube. Hey Chief, is this a call and stream? Yeah, this is a live stream right now. I'm moving. Live stream. Hola. Hola Ade. This question. Hello, do I think your child can use his income for summer internship for A64 if his income meets requirement? As a joint sponsor or housewife sponsor? Baron Noise. As long as you're not a troll, you could join live. You got to email in though. Email in for the code. I mean the link to join. Sorry, it's just a little bit extra stuff. But if you don't mind doing that, and then I can move this thing around. Okay. And the email is down here. It's right there. That's right. That's the email right there. But you got to type in live show in the subject line. Okay, so it can be automated. Ola said your child is a college student, joint sponsor. So I'm assuming your child also has legal status. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible as long as maybe your child's income alone is sufficient, or you mean to really it's better to just have one person's income. It won't necessarily be both people. It could be both if you need to. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Erica Steven. I can ask a team member to give you a call. Emolt's question: why the main focus is on when someone overstay their visa? You thought it was forgiven after marrying a U.S. citizen. It does overstay. I mean, there's a bunch of different scenarios. Okay, there's a bunch of different scenarios. So yeah, one of them that I know gets talked about a lot is what you asked about, Emolt, and that is when someone overstays their visa, and you can apply for adjustment if you're eligible and apply for adjustment of status, and then the immigration civil violation is waived automatically upon approval of the 485 application. Okay, so it's not at the time of you filed the application, it's at the time of approval. So there's more I can say about that, but I don't want to give people of Project 2025 or Stephen Miller any ideas here, so I'll keep it at that. Okay. But if you're curious more about it, then you can schedule a meeting for a one-on-one, because this is a public platform. Punisher asks a great question as well. How is it that NVC is still processing K1 petition for a country that under the full ban? So yeah, if the travel ban is applicable to your fiance's country of nationality, now that, or some of you know that fiance visa is not one of the exceptions. So actually, that's the other reason why it's a good idea to get married, if possible, to get married and to file for the K3, or I'm sorry, not K3, but for the immediate relative. So file the I-130 petition. Okay. Emote says, you believe most lawyers listen to me and repeat it? I wouldn't doubt it, because if another lawyer's live show pops up on my feed, I'll come hang out for like 30 seconds and just kind of see how they do it too. Not that I would want to copy how they do it, but Um, no, I mean, if they want to copy, uh, it's more for the better, right? I don't mind because I can't help everyone. But thanks for letting me know. I'm kind of curious who would do that though. Bara Noe says, before you join, am I discussing about immigration in a political sense? Sometimes. I mean, I do complain about the government from time to time, but we do try to keep y'all's questions about immigration, like if it's your case. Oh, emote. Well, Bara Noise, did you get the auto reply email? Because I was just checking here. Oh, I think you put in a title. Okay. Okay, there we go. They do. Can you share email? Can you share the next one you hear about them? Can you share one of the channels? I'm a little curious now. Of course, I can't copyright this stuff. Interesting. Makes me a little curious. You know what the thing is? I think the thing is they don't know how to be straight with y'all. Like I know before oh god dang it. This thing said I just got it again on Tickety Talk. My live is not eligible for a recommendation because it primarily directs people off the platform. I'm not. I'm asking y'all to stay on here. Let me appeal again. Man, I'm starting to feel this app right here. We might have to switch over soon for me. I'm sorry. I wish I could stay on forever here. But yeah, you say they make it seem like these other lawyers, I guess. I mean, we don't even know if they're actually lawyers. That you can't get your green card through your spouse even if you overstay. Okay, so maybe you were probably referring to. You might be referring to the memo. Maybe that's what they're trying to say from the memo, the August 1st memo. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not here to create content in general just to create content. I'm not doing it for the likes, whatever. I'm only asking y'all to click on the screen because it helps to share it to other people, right? But I'm not intentionally to create controversial content or anything like that. I don't got time for that BS. Right? I just tell it to y'all straight. So I think maybe how other attorneys might phrase it, unfortunately, um, oh, I see. So some Yeah, I mean, if there is absolutely a concern, so that's why in my video a couple days ago I mentioned specific scenarios that people should be concerned about that memo. Yeah, I mean, some people like I talked to someone earlier today, or it's almost like every day there's someone where the spouse had to go back to the country, and we're trying to think of other ways. It might not just be other ways that's also faster, right? Not just the family-based way, because that does take quite a while from abroad, consular processing. Um, okay, picky pride. That's right. So I'm gonna stop referring to like LINK. I'm just gonna point. Okay. It just gets a little awkward when I'm pointing and I'm on multiple platforms. But good call. Appreciate the reminder there. Punisher, you say so. So NVC is just wasting their time and my time. Well, I mean, I mean, what would you prefer them to do, Punisher? Would you prefer that NVC just email you say your case is stopped completely? I mean, it's just sitting there ultimately, right? So it's up to you to take the next action to pivot. Okay, to get married if you can. Oh, thank God. Appeal approved. Thank God. Okay, TikTok, share my channel, please. All right, Clarissa, can you see if you can share it? The link, does that work? Is it available now? I'm kind of curious. No worries, clavicular. We have identified that that person is a troll. You have to change my background. They don't like that either. Damn. Oh, I got the next way to do it. Okay, you have to change the background. Haha. We went to Daiso the other day. Are y'all guys familiar with Daiso? I got one of these things. Oh, this is good. Except my dry erase marker, I just put an 8. You can barely see it. I need to figure that out. Man, when you have tech issues, platform issues, you got to rely on something else. Okay, now TikTok is telling me I've been on too long. They want to make sure I'm still here and not a bot, apparently. Okay, let's see. Any questions? I think I answered all of y'all. Okay, I got one here. I found one. PIDUS or PIDUS 08, you got PD August 29th, 2022, F2A, consular processing Guatemala. How long for approval? Okay, 2022 F2A. Let me check the visa bulletin real quick. All right, y'all. If you just joined, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure legal status to live and work in America legally because the government does not care. They don't give a shit, unfortunately. I only curse when I talk about the government and politics and immigration. Okay. So someone asked about, let me share my screen. I can only do that on YouTube and Facebook. Okay. So the visa bulletin, let's take a look here. The most recent one is September 2025, even though we're still in August. Guatemala, you said F2B? Oh, F2A? Is it for your son or spouse or daughter under 21? Okay, so they're actually working on cases prior to date for including your country nationality, Guatemala, September 1st, 2022. And you said yours is August 29th. So, yo, if you haven't received an email from them, you gotta email them. Okay, don't. This is a great example that you cannot wait. I mean, look, if it's just like one day after it hit on the bulletin, yeah, maybe give them at least 24 hours. And I wonder how it works. Well, first of all, PIDUS, did you? Okay, good, Clarissa. You're meeting with Paula in an hour. Hope we can make things work for you guys. Yeah, so I don't know how the embassy or consulate knows to say, okay, we got to notify this person. But the first thing is, PIDUS, is your petition approved? Okay, you can still have a priority date even with a receipt notice only, but the petition has to be approved before we move on to the next steps. Okay, which I mean at this point, hopefully so, because it's been what, almost 3 years for the petition. That's right, Punisher. You gotta file I-130 after you get married. We have a couple clients like that. Okay, here's the immigration problem. Maybe this client is on live. So by the way, if you ever contact us, I'll try my best to ask your permission to share this. We will never share names and details like that, but I'm gonna let y'all know if we think there's an immigration problem that we'll share on the live show. Okay, in general, just generalized, so others can hopefully avoid the situation. So here's a really, really good example of hiring an attorney from the get-go, from the beginning. This gentleman filed a fiancé petition. I think it was like around the pandemic time. But anyway, pandemic aside, it was approved. There are certain steps to do after the petition approved. Those steps were not even initiated by that particular client. So he found out, had a meeting with us. We shared it with him, and I felt bad. I felt bad because that wasted, I think, 2 years of their life. 2 years. Okay. So, and that's not a situation. And yes, we did try to get it reactivated, try to resuscitate that petition back to life, but they wouldn't allow it. Okay. We tried though. So now at this point, we suggested to file a, based on marriage, to go get hitched and then file the I-130. Okay. So that's a really good example of unintentionally self-sabotaging your case. Look, it doesn't matter what kind of job you have, doesn't matter how many kids you might have. If you might have a work or personal family obligation, you just might not have the time. And then even if you had the time, you're like, why don't you do this every day? So if you want the most peace of mind, you want to prevent as many immigration problems as possible. I mean, for example, that situation has nothing to do about Biden, has nothing to do about DJT. Okay, so we're starting on our social media to share those kind of scenarios without mentioning y'all's names. So I hope you don't mind. If you do mind, then I guess don't schedule with us, because more people need to know what to avoid. Okay, let's see here. No prob 954. Can you get a fee waiver on N600 if you can't afford it? There is a fee waiver list of certain applications. I don't remember if N600 is on it. Let's see here. New hobby on YouTube. Can a green card holder travel from outside the U.S. if you have leave the United States? Okay, right, because you're a green card holder, hypothetically. DUI from 10 years ago. So personally, I would hold off. Okay, because we got the Lincoln Riley Act. So Lincoln Riley, RIP to her. Okay, but the thing is, conservatives used her story to restrict, to try to find people inadmissible for things unrelated to unaliving someone. Okay, they include crimes, just an arrest. It doesn't have to be like a conviction. Theft, larceny, maybe also shoplifting, something like that. They have nothing to do about unaliving someone, but they use their story. So right now, it's too early in a sense, even though that law was passed in January. I mean, I don't know if you want to be the test person to try that. I just don't have enough data per se to share if it's going to be okay or not. Okay. It's sad to say, but if you look at I think, did I record a video about this? Do y'all know? I forget. I record so many videos. So I probably need to record another one now that I have more perspective to share. Okay, y'all. Okay, Sandy, sounds good. Talk to you later. One more question. Tavo, you will apply for 751 next month, and you're 485. You forgot to disclose. You forgot to disclose that you got a ticket for driving with no license, but you still got to prove without an interview. Will this be a problem for your 751? I mean, you don't have to provide those records for your 751. Yeah, I mean, 485 I would include, if you haven't filed it yet for other people, I would include traffic citations. But that should not be something that would affect your case outcome. If anything, if you were to have a 751 interview a couple years from now, 2 to 4 years from now, then you can bring it and put in your folder just in case. Okay. But it's not something that, not all 751 cases result in interview. Okay. If your 751 case results in interview, then that's another strong signal to talk to a lawyer, and maybe even higher. Okay. All right, y'all. I got to peace out. I got a meeting. Thank you so much. Click on the plus sign, follow, subscribe. Y'all have a great day. Take care.